need to serve tough. When they serve tough, they're going to get the other team in trouble. They're going to have a tough time passing, and that's their key right now. I talked to the coach earlier tonight. And as far as for the Radford, their key to the game tonight is to expect the unexpected. Roosevelt's a really scrappy team, and they've just got to make sure that balls coming over on one or two and off blocks are brought up. So they've just got to be on their toes and ready for anything tonight.
Okay, thanks for those keys to the game, Lisa. Size, a real big difference. We'll talk about the officials right now. Wayne Lee, Sheldon Tang, Debbie Kouchi, and Darren Chun. Of course, the 4 officials tonight. We have the linesmen supplied by the OIA. This is a tournament game, and so that's why we have all the white shirts out there. We talked about Dave Vinton not sitting beside me. He will be reffing the second game between Kalaheo and Pearl City. We're ready to go here at McKinley High School Gymnasium. The winner of this match will make it into next week's final for the OIA Championship. Serving will be Tasaka. Dug up by Kleiber. The pass will go outside to Bobbas. Bobbas to Bobbas, and they'll just have to safely play it over. Here comes Roosevelt. The setter is Maki. Palama just has to play it over, and now Roosevelt with a free chance. Maki. Outside to Kazui, high off the hand, saved in the back row by Bobbas. Going outside to Bobbas. And that looked like it might have gone long, a pancake save, but in vain, point Radford.
Well, here we go. You can see we got a long rally to start off the match tonight, and I think we're in for a great match.
Right. And an overpass, and Bobbas tried to put that down, and Kleiber does put it down.
Kleiber can jump out of the gym. Watch him get up on this ball and just connect.
So 2 serving 0. We're early on here in this first semifinal. Nozumi just plays it over. Nihipali will set Peterson, and that is wide. And Roosevelt catches a break there.
It's a smart set by Nihipali, trying to throw things up, sets the back high set.
Gail Nui and the libero, Tanaka, can't catch up with it. And Roosevelt, after giving up the first 2 points, has now tied it at 2-2.
And again, we're back to serving tough. That's a quick, easy point on a tough serve.
Well, that's something that Roosevelt did last night in their win over Mililani. And that's 4 touches on Radford and point for Roosevelt. Roosevelt got here by defeating Mililani in straight sets, but they did it with some pretty good serves. And a mistake there by the Radford Rams, and Roosevelt makes them pay. Koizumi taking care of the overpass.
So really, the Radford Rams just need to settle down and focus in on a good pass right now.
Nihipali back set to Bobbas. Bobbas, Anthony Bobbas, 1/2 of the Bobbas family out on the court. With the Rams within 1.
And again, a great set selection, setting that back high 5 is what they call that for an isolation set.
Service goes over, dug up by the libero, Morimoto. And Paul Lama wanted to go cross court. Did it touch anyone? No. Cross court goes out of bounds, and a point to the Rams.
That's Palama's first swing on the night. Just know that he's going to get a lot of balls.
So that'll put Kleiber, Glenn Kleiber, a 6'2 senior, at the service line. Dug up by Morimoto. Paul Lama just wanted to dump it over, but he can't get it to go across. And another point for Radford. So we have 5 serving 4. Radford, what a great job throughout the year to go undefeated, 12-0 in regular season play, and then defeating Castle last night in the first round of the playoff. That was a heck of a shot by
Kozuki. Is that Kozuki? Rice Kozuki?
Kozuki. Was it Kozuki? That it was Kozuki, number 7. We'll go outside as we're back to live action. And Peterson pounds it off the Roosevelt block. So that'll put Bobbas at the service line. Anthony Bobbas gets it over, floater over. And Kozui And that ball goes out of bounds, and another point for Radford. Sorry for all the extraneous noise here. We're switching out microphones. We had a little technical problem, but I think we got it all set. Can you hear me, Lisa?
I can hear you,
Okay. We're back to hearing things right. That's Palama that pounds it off the net. Will Radford save it? Oh, and a great effort there by
Mihi
Polly, but what do they call? That ball was out. What a great diving effort there. As Palama gets his hand on it. Oh, that was the play beforehand.
A lot of scrappy defense going on out here.
That's Bobbas with a little attack. And that finds the back of the court.
And that whole play made possible just by a perfect pass from the back court. You get a good pass, you can run the quick in the middle. It's going to really hold the defense on defense.
Maki. And Murakami just has to play it over. Here's a free ball now for Radford. And Bobbas. Alan Bobbas.
That's right.
You know, if we're saying Bobbas too many times, I mean, you know, they do have twins on the court.
There's one as a setter and one as a middle blocker. It could get a little confusing out here tonight.
Bad pass, the back row to the front row by Roosevelt. And now Radford has itself a 2-point lead as you get a good chance to see Damon Reyes there on the sideline encouraging his team. There's an overpass by Morimoto, and Radford and Nihi Pali will make you pay for any mistakes.
Really putting the pressure on with tough serving by both teams out here tonight, and really have to settle down and focus again back to that first pass.
Eric Peterson, a 6-foot senior, will do the service honors. He'll be 10 serving 7 here in game 1. That's dug up by Palama. The set goes into Keola. Keola checking in for the first time. Number 20, Keolani Keola, a 6'1" senior. And his first attempt sails long. And Radford has now opened up a 4-point lead. And a little bit of the jitters, the early match jitters there for kind of Palama. He knew that ball was going out.
Yeah, he just didn't react quick enough, and he knew it. When he was done touching it, he felt not so good about it.
There's Murakami, and when you need a point in a hurry, Jordan Murakami, a 5'7" junior.
You know, he really gets a lot out of himself at 5'7", and at best 5'7". He is small out there, and he leaps, and he hit the daylights out of that ball.
Had 5 kills in our TV game against Kohuku. And some passing problems going on for Roosevelt, and that's going to cause Kawi Mendonca to take a timeout. And they look over at Kawi Mendonca and says, I didn't call timeout. Okay, we will take a timeout. Early on here in this first semifinal, Radford 13, Roosevelt 8. You're watching boys volleyball here on OC16. Work Andrew holds a 3.5 GPA and participates in peer education, helping their students. Our team player from Roosevelt is Andrew Reyes. Of course, he receives a plaque courtesy of the Trophy House. And our team player from Radford is backup libero Prentice Levu. He gives us all at every practice. He is also very strong in the classroom. His positive attitude and volleyball skills helps his teammates to excel, and he has a lot of fun doing it. Our team player from Radford High School, Prentice Levu. He too receives a plaque courtesy of the Trophy House. A lot of unforced errors early on by the Rough Riders of Roosevelt has afforded Radford to take a 13-8 lead. There, they're getting on track as Jordan Murakami sends it to the floor.
You know, he's taking on that role. Here you see him just getting a great set selection with that back high five again. He isolates his hitter. He has a one-on-one opportunity for a kill and a point.
He had 2 aces last night in the quarterfinal win over Mililani. Puts it in the back row, and that hit the light. It hit the light on their side, so it's playable here at these low-ceiling gyms. Anything that hits the roof or a structure on your side is playable.
That's a tough one. This roof is a little low, so that can happen and probably will again tonight.
Quick set to Keola, and Keolani Keola gets it to go down.
Got to give him credit here, driving hard in the middle. He sees in a great cutback. He has a one-on-one blocking situation, and he is firing up his team out here.
And a good job by Keola to recognize that block and just to push that ball just away from the defender. And at the service line, he sends the serve long, and he gives the service right back over to Radford.
In high school volleyball, what you're going to notice is that a libero cannot serve, and so he had to stay in order to serve the ball, and in comes the libero again for him, so he will not be playing backcourt.
Keo Nui has his attempt blocked at the net, much to his dismay.
Well, that is an excellent block. It's completely sealed off. Look at the middle blocker penetrating completely over the net. Does an excellent job.
Roosevelt has to get back on track here as Keo Nui has his attempt blocked. He'll try it again, and that ball just trickles over. Nice defense by the Rams. Paul Lama sends it back, and again blocked at the net. Here's Maki. Keo Nui rolls it over, and a great save by Nihi. Check that Peterson, but Bobbas can't play it off the net. Point Roosevelt.
You got to give a lot of credit on that play to Glenn Kleiber. I mean, he is putting on a little blocking exhibition out here, but again, the point goes to Roosevelt, and they're mixing it up. They're hitting high, they're dinking, they're moving the ball around really well, just getting those early game jitters out, I think.
Talking with Kawi Mendaka before the match, the size was a problem. When you have a bigger team, you just want to have ball control. An unforced error there by the libero, Matt Tanaka, 5'9" junior. As he can't keep the ball in play, and Keo Nui serves again. That'll go outside to Peterson. Peterson, and a great save by Palama to keep that ball alive. Radford with another chance. They'll go middle attack, and two diving Rough Riders. Nice attempt, but the ball goes out of bounds, and a point to Radford.
Shot selection is great. Look at him hitting the floor. He's 6'2", hitting the floor out there. Excellent defense.
That should be saved for like the 5'2" players. There's a 6'2" guy getting low. Little mix-up in the backcourt between Murakami and Morimoto. Well, I got it, you take it, you want it, I don't have
right.
it.
Whose ball is it anyways? Lots of communication needed.
Timeout on the court. Radford leads it 18-12. And why we have this timeout, if you need to fundraise, School Kind Cookies will help you exceed your goals. You ever have School Kind Cookies?
They're dangerous.
Yeah, and they're easy. The profit margin is great, and the cookies, well, they sell themselves. Give them a call today at 456-8577. School Kind Cookies. And it's usually on cue that when we do that, the cookies like magically appear here at the broadcast booth.
Oh my, well,
we're looking for it.
I'm looking.
Okay.
They make them so small that you think, oh, I'll just have a couple, but couple equals what, one cookie?
Yeah.
Can't just eat one of those.
We're taking a look at the Roosevelt huddle and Kawi Mendonca, 14th-year head coach. They went 8-4 in the regular season, lost twice to Kalaheo, lost to Castle, and then a surprising loss in their last regular season game against Kaimuki. And in the quarterfinals, they came out strong, defeating Mililani in 2 straight. Roosevelt is one of those schools that just really dominated boys volleyball in the mid to late 70s, winning the championships 5 times in 6 years under legendary coach Robin Gu. And so Kawi Mendonca in 14 years have tried to get the Rough Riders back to a time when, well, Roosevelt volleyball was just a powerhouse in the OIA. Back to live action now. And here's Paul Lama, who pounds it off the Radford block.
You got to give him credit. He had 2 big blockers up on him, and he gets up and he sees that he's tight and he hits high off of their hands.
It's going to be a free play for Roosevelt as Morimoto digs it up in the back row. Here's Murakami, and Jordan Murakami. Boy, he is like the energy bunny. He just doesn't give up or slow down.
You know what? He wants it. You could see it in the look in his eyes. He is hungry.
And a net serve by Paul Lama. If you're not familiar with volleyball, if it hits the net and falls over, it is playable. And for Roosevelt, here's an overpass and another scoring opportunity. Oh, and Murakami wanted to wipe that off of the Radford block, but no hands were there.
That's a tough break. It was a little, that set was a little off, and he had two big blockers up on him, and it's a smart move if it goes your way, but he just missed the fingertips.
Bobbis with the serve. Dug up by Keonui into Kozumi. Played in by Radford. Now Roosevelt with a scoring opportunity here. Maki will set a pipe set to Palama, and that is just long.
Great set selection, and Palama driving hard for that ball. You know, he's going to get it. He is. He just got to keep setting him at that 10-foot line.
You know, we talked about his biggest improvement being his footwork, and he credits that with playing club ball. And he's only a sophomore, so he's got a lot more things to learn.
Yes, the coach says that he has improved way more than his wildest beliefs. He is only a sophomore, and they didn't expect him to be such a huge factor for their team this year.
Palama there with the unforced error, trying to get that ball over. And Radford is well into the danger zone, leading 21-15. We play to 25 here in high school volleyball. That was a great smash by Murakami and the 5'7" junior.
And again, Murakami just getting the best out of his 5'7". Look at his arm swing, high and quick. He's got to be 8 feet off of the net on that set. Excellent play by him.
Zumi with the serve, dug up by Tanaka. Here's the back set to Peterson. He's blocked in the net, but great job by Radford to save that. And now Roosevelt with a chance to close the margin. He'll go cross court to Murakami, wipes it off the block, but right there is Tanaka. Here's Roosevelt's play across. Maki, quick set to Keola, and that one's not coming back. Point, Roosevelt.
Give both teams credit on that nice long rally, driving the middle. Great defense by the Radford Rams. And number 20 just on the Rough Riders doing an excellent job in the middle. Coming in, Keola doing a great job.
And Keola doing the job right there as he teamed up with Maki for the roof.
Keola, they're really looking for the big block, and here you see he is a big block.
Well, at 6'1", Kaue Mendonca, the head coach of Roosevelt, said that they're going to use him tonight because of the height advantage, and why not? And right there, a 5'7" guy saying that I can rule this net in a timeout by Radford. As now the Rams have closed to within 2.
Roosevelt Rough Riders is putting a lot of pressure. They're serving tough, and they're getting the Radford Rams into a little bit of passing trouble. So it's a little bit shaky right now. Radford was out quite a few points out in front, and I think they may have let their guard down just a little bit. Smart timeout by Damon Reyes. Just time to settle down, kind of regroup, get his boys back in, focusing on taking this game. And Roosevelt charging back.
For more high school football highlights and scores, catch Blitz 4 presented by Subway every Friday night at 10:25, only on KITV4 News. Kaue Mendonca has done an excellent job. You know, he played basketball when he was a Rough Rider. Many moons. Okay, not many moons ago.
You might have him by a few there. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, but he's one of the good ones, and one of the long tenures in the OIA, 14 years.
That's commitment.
Tanaka, he'll go outside to Nihipale. Oh, a great job by Keola, as you can see his height advantage at the net. There's Murakami, Maki, they're gonna set Murakami again. He takes a little off of it this time. Saved by Bobbis. Back into Kleiber. And his shot in the corner goes out. And after being down by 6 and almost counted out in game 1, Roosevelt, the Rough Riders, have come galloping back to make a game out of game 1.
We see a little bit of adjustment in the Radford's lineup here. They're switching things around, and it actually worked on that serve receive, changed a little bit. So the server was looking at a different serve receive pattern. Smart move by them.
So Radford up by 2. We play to 25. If we were tied at 24, we play win by 2. with a cap to 3. Great save by Kale Nui. That ball was headed out, and Palama puts it in the back row. Saved by Peterson. They'll go outside to Nii Polly, and they'll call a two-handed pass. Tough call, and Damon Reyes is off the bench.
Well, you know, that is a tough call. You know, it had some spin on it, definitely, but it wasn't that, you know, it's a judgmental call. The call's been made. It's not going to get changed.
They go outside to Ryan Marr, the only left-handed hitter on this team, cuts it across the net.
Biggest kid on the team, 6'3", outside hitter, a lefty, takes a one-footed approach, welcoming himself right into the game.
You were going to say tallest kid on the planet?
Not quite.
Palama, and he's rudely met at the net by Glenn Kleiber.
Glenn Kleiber is really an incredible. I'm really impressed with him so far. He's blocking from the 10-meter line one-on-one, which is, you know, most of the time you call a down ball on that. He just stuck up there and got the point.
Oh, a cardinal sin. Any coach will tell you that when you have game point and you have the serve, you don't want to serve it into the net or serve it out.
Well, he's going to redeem himself right now.
There's Bobbis. He'll go outside to Kleiber. He's blocked by Keola and Kale Nui. Bobbis will kick it back outside to Kleiber again, and he can't get that much on it. And Roosevelt staves off another game point.
They just keep creeping back into this game.
Radford better not give them too much slack. Roosevelt's a team that can just hang around. Here comes Nii Polly, pounds it off the block. Point, Radford, game Radford.
But you know, they're both just getting warmed up. That's a good example of what lies ahead in game 2 here.
Well, unfortunately for Roosevelt, we only play best of 3, so they better come out hot in game 2. So Radford in a very, very competitive game 1 had Roosevelt down for the count by at least 6. Roosevelt came back, but it is the Rams that put it away, 25-23. We'll be back for game 2 here on OC16.
Sponsored in part by Pizza Hut.
And welcome back to McKinley High School Gymnasium. Russell Shamoka along with Lisa Strand-Ma'a bringing you the first semifinal of the night between Roosevelt and Radford. And you're taking a look at the Radford team. And Lisa, you know, conditioning is a big part of any athletic program. And according to Damon Reyes, the coach at Radford, he says he runs one of the hardest programs he knows. He starts the team in the summer running hills, stairs, road work, off-road. He says you could literally confuse them for the Radford cross-country team. I mean, that's how much road work they do.
Oh, my. That's great. You know what it does? It also creates confidence and mental focus within an athlete. When you are strong physically like that, when you get out into these matches, your confidence just goes.
Let's focus in on our Pizza Hut Game 1 stats, and it looks like the numbers favor the Rams.
Yeah, well, look at the kill percentage. This is the biggest thing that I can look up and see. Right off the bat, you're hitting 281, the Radford Rams versus 088. If you don't get that number up for Roosevelt, they could be in trouble tonight. That's the biggest thing. Look, you got almost the same amount of kills. You know, errors, yeah, Roosevelt's more unforced errors. Almost the same amount of attempts, but look at the percentage. Big difference there.
So Radford takes game 1, and so Roosevelt has found itself in an unfamiliar position here. Now playing from behind, as that's Tasaka. And his first kill of the night, Jason Tasaka.
And you know, somebody's into the net. That thing is just shaking all over there, but no call was made, so first point is scored, and we move on.
Tasaka, the senior, 5'10", serves it over. Kleiber dubs it over, and they will call.
Oh, they're calling the bat. I'm not so sure about the call, but I believe that he is calling that he's blocking the set attempt. You cannot go up if the ball is on your side of the net. Look at the setter here. He's blocking over. He cannot contact that ball before the setter contacts it. That was the call.
So 2-0 for Roosevelt. That's pounded off the Roosevelt block, and Radford picks up its first point here in game 2. Play best of 3 here at high school volleyball. 25. It's Mar with the serve. Morimoto digs it up. They'll go outside to Palama. And a great save by Mar in the back row. Here comes Roosevelt now. Maki outside to Palama. Destination floor.
And, you know, that is a great set selection. He set it a little bit lower and a little bit quicker for Palama, so his timing was excellent. There was a little bit of a seam in the block, and he went for that hole.
Third kill of the night for Kaina Palama. Morimoto can't come up with a pancake save there. And Radford still trails in this match 3-2. On the service line, Glenn Kleiber. Well, he'd like that one.
No, he would. But, you know, those things happen. You just got to move to the next play. These guys are young. You got to keep that in mind. They're young athletes. They're doing the best they can out there.
Oh, great save by Maki. And here's Murakami. Palama back set. Now it's Radford's turn with a free ball opportunity. A quick set in the middle to Babas. It finds the back line. And a point for the Rams.
Alan Babas with 4 kills tonight. Oh, this was against Pearl City. I'm sorry, but I think he has at least 4 tonight.
Here's Radford now. Peterson rounds it off the block, and another Radford point.
You know, Peterson gets up outside there, and he hits a heavy, hard ball. Heavy, hard ball. Does a nice job.
Ozome pounds it into the Radford block. So what we're seeing here is pound for pound, these teams are just going right at each other.
That's right, and on that instant replay there, if you could have caught it, the blockers were just about a foot off. If they could get a little bit closer and do what they call seal the net, they're going to penetrate over and they're going to get some stuff blocked.
Well, in other words, get your hands and press it over so the ball doesn't
sneak between
you and the net.
Absolutely. They're right there. They're lining up right. They're just leaving a little bit too much space.
Peterson goes into the net. And we are at 6 serving 5 now. Kyle Maki, the junior setter. They'll go outside to Mar, left hand. A little confusion who wanted to get that set. Palama just dinks it over. Here comes Radford now. Back row set to Kleiber. Is it in? It is in.
A little late call by the linesman on this side, not sure, but he drilled that ball into the deep corner, and here you're going to see Kleiber coming at that ball. Back court, they call that hit a pipe. No, we didn't pick it up on there, but I think it was good.
Well, the referee or the linesman had the best look at it. Nobody's home in the back row there.
Now that's the block I was talking about a little bit earlier. They got a little closer, they penetrated, and that is an excellent block by the Radford Rams.
So now it's Radford with 2 quick points, and the Rams take the lead. Palama with the pass, set to Murakami, dug up in the back row by Babas to his brother. Can they play it back over? Mar does. Nice job by the Rams. Here comes Roosevelt outside to Murakami, dinks it over. Here's Mar, puts it. Oh, and they're going to call a lift. everybody in the gym, you just heard, oh.
Oh, they knew, and he knew he was.
He knew to it.
He didn't quite get his feet to the ball, and he tried to go for it with his hands. And, you know, just an unfortunate error.
Murakami with the jump serve, and it bends the net.
Both teams really going for tough serving, trying to put their opponents in disarray or like get them in passing trouble.
Well, Roosevelt is a tough serving team. They had 9 aces last night against Mililani, and that was one of the big difference there. As Roosevelt pounds it off the Radford block for another point. That was a big difference in that game. In fact, they had an 8-0 run, and Roosevelt had 3 consecutive aces.
That can make a game when you're at 22 all. You play to 25.
He Polly, sneaky move right there from the center. Palama puts it in there. Nice dug up in the back row by Peterson. They'll go back outside the Babas. Can they bring it back in? No. Nice job by Jason Tasaka to try to get a hand on it.
And again, the heavy heat, we're talking there's some, you can tell these guys are in good condition. When I say heavy, I mean there is some really, it's hard. When it hits you, you get an ouch on your hand. You almost get a ball print on your hand.
And there's Paul Lama with another kill as she finds the back row. The 4th kill on the night by kind of Paul Lama.
Paul Lama is really coming into his own in this game. He's getting hot and hotter, and I think he's feeling more comfortable in this match.
They beat that one off the Roosevelt block. Radford now with a 1-point lead. 10 serving 9 here in game 2. Radford already up a game.
And that was an ace, service ace.
It sure was, and I was just looking at the libero, Morimoto and Murakami, and they were just looking at each other.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a jump floater.
But isn't it the libero who should be getting that?
He should be, and he should be definitely calling the ball. Lots of, they say move to the ball with your feet, not with your eyes, is the saying that they say here.
This is the replay on Bryce Kozui's blast into the Radford block. And for a Rough Rider point, back set to Bobbis, and boy, he certainly gets some hang time, and he puts it into the corner of the court.
That's an excellent set selection. Bobbis on that right side is just a different, he's being set all over the court tonight. So far, we've seen him everywhere.
Maki goes back outside, and that set was a little far off the net, and so Murakami will safely play it over. Nice job by Bobbis's brother, Anthony, or Alan Bobbis, taking a little bit off it and finding an open space on the court.
Got to give him credit. They're moving the ball around well. Alan Bobbis setting all over. Good set selection by him.
So Radford is up a game, and they're up 3 here in game number 2. We'll be back with more semifinal action in just a moment.
And Anthony Bobbis just making that possible with a tough serve on an overpass. Putting pressure.
Back set to Kozumi. Kozumi wanted to go cross court, and that ball is out. And now what was a 2 or 3 point margin has now opened up to 5-point margin.
Some unforced errors happening right now for Roosevelt. They, again, got to get back to passing. The pass is their basic thing. They need to pass to the target, settle themselves down. This happened in the first game as well. So if they can get the pass where it needs to go, they're getting it a little too tight. Keep in mind now that their setter is the smallest player out there.
Maki will just set Paul Lama in the back, dug up in the back by Radford. Here's Peterson, pounds it off. That ball's going to come right down, and and a tough play for Maki as the ball hit the ceiling, came right down on the net. Unfortunately, it was on his side of the net, and it's a point for the Rams. 17-10 here, and Radford, boy, the Sharks are circling. They smell the blood in the water. They are only 8 points away from wrapping up this semifinal match.
They're really keeping the pressure on the Roosevelt.
For your car insurance needs, look to AIG Hawaii, where you get your claims done fast, done right, guaranteed. Call 533-AIGH for a money-saving quote today.
Kyle Maki, I just wanted to point this out. I said he's the smallest guy out there. He is 5'5", and he's also setting a 5'1", which means he is the only setter, and he's got 5 hitters. So he plays the front court at 5'5". According to the coach, he is their unsung hero, and I got to give him a lot of credit. Being out there, he's done a great job tonight for their team.
He's a third-year member of the varsity, a former ball boy. He's always been around the program because his brother, Ken, played volleyball for Roosevelt. So you like to see that. Start from a very early age. Brother got him involved. Now he's doing a good job for the Rough Riders. And that's what Roosevelt needed, Jordan Murakami, to get on track as he pounds it into the Radford block, and that ends Radford's scoring run. Kozumi with the serve. Here comes Radford. They'll go outside to Nihipali, and boy, he hits that with anger. Billy Nihipali.
And again, great set selection. The middle running hard, keeping the middle isolated. He hits high off of the hands. He sees that he's got two up on him. He reaches high and he snaps right off the top of their hand. That's called a tool in volleyball, using the block.
This will be Peterson at 18 serving 11. Jump serve, good serve as that pass goes out of bounds.
He basically handcuffed Paul Lama there. You know, that ball came so fast at him, he really just couldn't get his hands up quick enough. Putting pressure on with their serving.
Another jump serve by Peterson, and oh, almost another tough serve. And Keola just rolls it over, and Marr just can't come up with it.
And that's where we expect the unexpected, really. It's a broken play. It's not pretty. You're going to see things kind of dribbling over here and there. You really got to be on your toes, and they have been all night.
Maki with the serve. Roosevelt needs a nice little 5-point run, and boy, they got two of them right there, courtesy of Keolani Keola, the basketball player.
You know, he's come in and done a really impressive job tonight. He's a big kid, and he gets up and over. He's penetrating the net completely. He says, not this time, buddy.
And you know what? That's what Roosevelt needs for Radford to commit a few unforced errors that we saw Babas right there. It's because Roosevelt has had its share of unforced errors. They can't afford anymore. They can't afford any more separation between these two teams here.
Absolutely.
Oh, and that's a great roof of the net by Jordan Murakami. One-on-one, mano-a-mano, as that ball just drops right down on the court.
He stayed with his player. He's tight a little bit. The set is a little bit tight, but he stayed with him, and he got it for a point.
There's Babas, goes cross-court again, and that's 4 straight points from the Rough Riders.
I feel like we're having a deja vu. We saw this in the first game earlier, a big break, you know, a 6-point spread, and now it's kind of teeter-tottering here, back and forth.
They'll go outside to Murakami again. That hits the tape. Overpass. Oh, and a great save in the basket by Kleiber, but Babas can't keep it back in play. Damon Reyes quickly off the bench. Timeout, Radford.
You got to give them credit. They're bringing themselves back into this game with a lot of emotion. And it's unbroken, unexpected plays that's getting Radford in trouble. Things are just not quite 1, 2, 3-ish right now. They're on a 6 points scoring run right now. Well, they got to call a timeout. Damon Reyes has got to call a timeout. Slow his kids down, get them to pass first, stay focused on their side, not get frustrated.
Well, calling all Hawaiians, now is the time for all Indigenous Hawaiians to step forward and kauinoa, place your name. Make your voice heard and build a strong Hawaiian nation. Register at www.hawaiimaoli.org. So just like we saw in game 1, as you alluded to, Lisa Strand-Ma'a, we saw a separation between Radford and Roosevelt. The Rough Riders make a little mini run to tie the match at game 1. We saw Radford now in game 2 get that separation. And now it is Roosevelt once again trying to close in and make this a competitive and exciting game 2 and for their sake, put it to a game 3.
Yeah, you know, you got to look at the big picture here. You got Radford, all the starters, 4 kills each. Roosevelt, all starters, 4 kills each. You look at this and you think, wow, they're in the same game here. They're doing the same thing. Somebody's got to pull away and say, I want this. I'm going to stop the unforced errors, and I'm just going to take control of it. It's game number 2. It could go either way right now.
Nihipale with an uncharacteristic unforced error right there. And that is now 7 straight points for Roosevelt. That could be 8, and it's 8. And Roosevelt, once down by 6 in game 2, has now come back to tie at 19 all.
The Radford Rams, again, they need to settle down and just get the ball in the court. Too many unforced errors.
There's a left-handed shot by Marr. Here's Maki. They'll go outside to Murakami off the block. And a stonewall there from Nihipale and Babas.
This is a great play. The set is a little tight, but give credit to the Radford Ram block. That is a great block to stop the bleeding here.
Maki. Gail Nui, can he get it? They'll put it back over in a great play. No, they're going to call double hit on Nihi Pali.
Well, that was an excellent defensive move. Alan Bautis getting that dink up. He pops it up, he slides down, just extends his full body out, and the set was a little questionable.
Kami would certainly like that serve back as he tried to make a difficult looping serve to just fall inside the 10-meter line.
You gotta give him credit, he's going for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that is...
They'll go outside to Palama. Palama pounds it off, but right there is Morimoto for the save. Palama there, saved by Nihi Pali. They'll go cross court to Babas. Babas off. Was it a touch?
Definitely
yes, it was.
Touch. Definitely a touch. He is hungry. Alan Babas, I believe that's Alan. The twins, they're identical twins. It's Anthony, sorry. Anthony Babas drilled that ball. You can see the hunger in his eyes as he attempted his attack there.
22 serving 20, and here's Palama. Oh, and he just gobbled up in the back row by Nihi Pali. And there was the campfire defense. They just sat around and watched that ball come down.
You know, that is such a momentum breaker. He just dug that ball. It came up and over. You had 3 players right there and 0 communication.
The only thing missing there were the marshmallows. As
now,
Roosevelt.
We have a change here, though. Roosevelt is going back to serve. I'm not sure if there was a net violation called on that.
What was that? It was a violation. Okay, so it's Roosevelt's point, and 21 serving 22. Oh, and a great dig by Keola. He just gobbled that up. Babas saved by Maki. Gail Nui will speed it over to Palama, and he doesn't go heat. He goes the off-speed stop, and it works just as effective.
You know, look at this dig. Kleiber just literally clobbers this ball. It comes back over on one, and they drop high outside. Great defense, reading the ball well. Again, high outside, and Palama, instead of drilling it like he's been all night, digs deep into his back pocket and gets some repertoire, is what they call that, a little soft shot. He saw the court excellently on that play.
22-22, and the Roosevelt faithful are certainly vocal here as Palama, did he save that? Yes, he did. And Ryan Marr with the left hand. They thought that ball was down, but Marr saved it and put it where they ain't.
Well, when you look at this play, it looks like a roller coaster. That ball actually hung up on his chest. It slowly rolled off of him. They were waiting for a lift call is what they were waiting for.
Radford 23, Roosevelt 22. An exciting match thus far. If you're just joining us, Radford won a thriller of a first game, 25-23. Roosevelt was all but counted out here in the second game, you know, down like something like 17 to 11, but they came storming back on an 8-0 run to tie it, and now that brings us to 23-22. Radford out in front and 2 points away from heading to the OIA finals.
It's a tight game, and again, like the first game earlier, we're back where we started. Both teams, it's just going back and forth, back and forth. Excellent volleyball.
Damon Reyes, a young coach at Radford, only his second year, but been around the program for 4 years. He's a Radford grad. Kawi Mendonca, the veteran, 14-year coach at Roosevelt. It's all come down to these final points. Serve going over, Kail Nui. They'll go cross court to Palama. Palama rolls it over, saved by Radford. They'll try to put it in the backcourt. Oh! What an excellent play by Eric Peterson. He recognized nobody home in the back row, and he placed it perfectly.
You talk about expect the unexpected. I would have never guessed he was going to do that. He hits it, shoots it over on 2. That's a risky play.
Marr serving for the match, and it's out. And it's 23 serving 24. And on match point, how can you let that fall?
Well, the first game we had the same thing earlier. They served out on match point.
Here's Radford now for the game and match. That's high and oh, and Babas wanted that one back and he knew it. I think he was thinking, I'll go high off the hands, and the Roosevelt players were just, they didn't get up that high.
They didn't get up that high. You're absolutely right. He was swinging for the game.
So we're tied at 24. It's win by 2 time. Here's Radford now. Pipe set to Kleiber. That's a facial. Oh, the heat and the power that Glenn Kleiber had on that ball.
Boy, you could hear that from where we're sitting. Uluvehi was sitting in the right spot. It just hit him a little high. Oh my goodness.
And now Glenn Kleiber serving for the game and the match. There's Maki. He'll go to Palama. Palama just plays it over here. That's going to be an overpass. Can he get it? No! And it's over. Radford remains undefeated and have earned a spot to next week's OIA championship game. So congratulations all around, and especially to the Radford Rams coming into this tournament 13-0, the #1 seed out of the West. And give credit to the Rough Riders of Roosevelt. Oh, they took them right down to the wire. Those 2 games could have gone either way, Lori.
Absolutely, they could have went either way. And you know, you got to give credit, like you said, to both teams. A 2 out of 3 match. That first game, these kids are coming in and they're a little nervous. It's going to take about, you know, half that first game for them to get into a roll. Both teams were that way, and it could have went either way. But great victory by Radford, and give credit to Roosevelt. You know, they played their hearts out. You got to give them credit. They came back and they showed a lot of fight.
Okay, so it is Radford that's moving on with a 2-0 win over Roosevelt. Who will they be playing in the OIA championship game? That's going to be decided next in our game number 2 against Kalaheo and Pearl City. But when we come back, we'll...
And then they'll expect it, so you just mix up your shots. And then put it in the middle of the court every once in a while.
Every once in a while. That's really good.
I love it. Now, do you have a favorite position? If you could pick and choose where you wanted to be, where would it be?
Even though I'm not that good at it, I'd probably play back row so I can dig up the balls, because you can't do anything unless you have a pass, so yeah.
Okay, Anthony Babas, our athlete of the game. The stat line on him, 6 kills and a .667 kill percentage tonight, 3 digs, and more importantly, the win to be moving on in the OIA tournament. And of course, all of our OC16 athletes of the game receive this nice trophy courtesy of the Trophy House. Here you go, Anthony.
Thank you.
There you go. And congratulations. And oh, first, before I let you go, Pearl City, Kalaheo coming up. Who would you rather play? Now, you play Pearl City because you guys still come out of the Western Conference. Would it be Pearl City or Kalaheo?
I'd want to play Kalaheo for the competition, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. Anthony Babas would like to see Kalaheo. Tired of playing Pearl City, I guess. Okay. Well, that's coming up next is our game at Kalaheo and Pearl City. But before we get to that, we're going to take a look at the match stats brought to you by Pizza Hut.
And again, here we look at Radford and Roosevelt, the comparisons in the match stats. And once again, I go back to the kill percentage. You look at Radford with the 286, and I said earlier when we went over stats that Roosevelt was going to have to hit in the 200s if they were going to pull this up. But really, in actuality, look at the digs Radford have. 23 digs compared to Roosevelt. It really could have went either way. It was that close tonight. It could have went either way. And congratulations to both teams for doing as well as they did and for being here tonight.
Well, this is only the first of our semifinal. Coming up next, or at least at the bottom of the hour, we have semifinal number 2. That'll be Kalaheo taking on Pearl City. The winner there, the right to meet the Radford Rams next Thursday night for the OIA Championship. That's at 7:30. We're going to step away for just a bit. We're going to have an OC16 KITV4 news break, and then a segment of Hawaiian Classics. And when we come back, we'll have Kalaheo and Pearl City Boys Championship Volleyball on OC 16.